Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady. Right, so today I've got another set of 4 videos. Don't panic, this isn't going to be an hour-long video like it was last week. I'm lucky, these ones are quite short. So, up first is a throwback to Whips, Bits and Chat number 6. So we're still quite early in the set. So I'm going to let you go have a watch and then I'll see you at the other end and explain anything that I may have missed out. Right, so today I'm going to be actually getting around to showing you some whips. They're sitting here on the side. I've got one partly completed, one halfway completed, one just started. Right, give me a second, I'll get my brain in gear and we'll get going on showing. Right, so first one up is a sample blanket that I've done. It's only a little one. I'm actually going to be sticking a little animal head of some sort on it so that it can be like a little cuddler for a baby. Now what I did with this one is I used that Robin, the Robin paintbox, there we go, that I picked up last week because I wanted to try it out. Because I'm not very good with short colour changes, I'm not overly keen. So what I did was I paired it up with the So Crafty. Sorry, I've got it here, I'm trying to read it, I don't see why, I should just show it you. Yeah, so I've paired it up with the So Crafty double knit yarn in the cream. There, and I did a 12-point star. Oop, let's bring that back. Okay, so you eagle-eyed peeps out there, what's wrong with my 12-point star? I'll put a picture up so you can have a look in a minute. Right, so this 12-point star I'm going to be using shortly to do a product review for that paintbox yarn. Put it like this, I've already earmarked the 50 grams that I have got left. That's already going to wing its way to somebody once postage costs drop a bit. Right, my next one up is going to be a koala. Now it doesn't look like much at the moment, but I've got its arms, its legs and other bits and pieces in there that I'm using to stuff it for the minute so I don't lose it, because I don't have any decent sized eyes. I'm sorry, but this koala would look so ridiculous with a 10mm eye. It needs to be big. So I've got some big ones on order, so I'm just gonna wait for them because I can't put it together until I've got them. So that's a bit of a shame because he's gonna look so cute when he's finished. And then my last one is, just give me a second. Now, as some of you know that have already seen my yarn shop from earlier on in the week, I picked up 2 of these Papaya Sundae baby cakes. Now these are a 100 grams, but there's 350 yards in them. Now it is a cotton, or cottonish, I can't remember. I've got all the descriptions in that video, I will pop the link above. And this is what I've made so far. Oh, it don't look too bad. Now I'm not sure whether I'm going shawl, top or what at the moment. I'm just playing around with the stitch a bit, and then yeah, once it gets a bit bigger I'll work it out from there. I was thinking top, but it will depend on how much yarn I've got yet left. But to be honest, at the moment it's not doing too bad, because I've had what, three colour changes I'm on, and although it's a bit squidged, my cake, I've had to undo a row because I got it wrong. I've barely touched it. It really feels like, if I look at it, you probably find I've only taken about that much out of it so far, which is a minute amount really. So fingers crossed, the one cake will give me enough to make a top, like the front panel of a top, and then this one can be used for the back panel. So if you like the look of that and you've you're thinking shawl or top, give me a shout down below so that I can record something when I do the next panel or whatever. You get where I'm coming from. Sorry, it's late, my brain's not in gear tonight. Right, so that's pretty much it for my whips. Upcoming videos, as I said to you, I'm going to be showing you the paintbox yarn, how it's working up in, I'll probably only go as far as a double crochet, so it'll be like single crochet, double crochet, just so you can see what it looks like worked up. As I said, I'm not keen on it. I prefer a longer colour change like I've got for this one. So yeah, as you can guess, I am actually liking the cotton, and for me, someone that's only ever worked with a DK, I'm quite shocked actually that I'm liking it, because it is really diddy strand wise compared to the DK. Hold on, I'll just pull it out for any of you that haven't used it before. Look, there we go, there's your difference in yarn size. Oh, come on camera, focus. No, it doesn't want to play today, does it? But yeah, it is super small compared to the super thin, sorry, compared to the other. But then, as I said, that's probably down to cotton. I don't know. Somebody knowledgeable will put something down below for me, won't you? You love me really, don't you, girls? Oh, that Robin paint box. As some of you will have noticed, I wasn't overly keen on it. I don't like the bits of colour in it because it's just too crazy. So I managed to actually offload that half of the ball, which was about 50 grams there was left. I managed to offload that to our gorgeous Courtney at Fiberfox Studios, because we did a yarn swap, which you will see at a later point unless you go and have a nose through the older videos on your own. So of course Courtney had said, oh, I really like that. So I was like, you can have it, don't want it. You can have it. So I gave that to Courtney. But then I stupidly went out shopping and picked up another flipping ball of it. So yeah, I've still got a ball of it sitting around somewhere in the back of a cupboard, but I'll get round to either using it or offloading it to you lot at some point. The koala was actually finished up, and he was sitting before Christmas, before the 12 Days of Christmas set. He was actually sitting on here for quite a while, so most of you will have seen him, and for those of you that don't panic, he will arrive in the throwback videos at some point in the future. The top that or the item that I showed with the cotton, that cotton was absolutely amazing. It just seemed to go on forever and ever and ever. I've never had anything feel like it was never going to end, like yarn wise. So I really loved working with it, and of course because I was working with it in the summer, it meant my hook wasn't squeaking. And I did finish the project. I think I showed this last week as well, but hey ho. And here it is. It is the top. You can see it a lot nicer in, oh, stop flashing your leg, honey. You can see it a lot better in the background of later videos. Again, you'll see it on Throwback Friday, and at some point I will actually finish off the sleeve that I forgot to put one round of single crochet on, and then I'll be able to wear it on videos in the future. Now the pattern itself, and I ended up following a link from showing you how to do the stitch to actually making a top, and that is where that top design came from. So it wasn't actually mine, so of course I wasn't going to make a tutorial as there was one already out there. So if I find the link, which will be on that video or a future video, I will stick it in the description box down below. Right, what else was there? No, I think that was it. I did cut a bit of the end of that video out because it was about Christmas in July fairies, which was a competition that was run last year. At some point this year we will be getting run again, so keep your eyes out for that hashtag in future months. Right, so next up video up is actually the Robin paint box review. So as I've told you, I wasn't overly keen on it. If you listen to how I'm communicating it, you may sort of get the hint in this next video. So I'll see you at the end. Now this is the Robin paint box in double knitting. The information for this is machine wash at 40, do not iron, it's dry cleanable, You can cool tumble dry it, do not bleach, and use 4mm hook. Now it is 100 grams of acrylic, and there's approximately 300 meters or 328 yards. Okay, so this is one of the colourways that I picked up the other day, but the one that I've actually used is this one, and it's just a shade lot, which is 1133. Now I've already made up this 12-star blanket with it. It's only a small one, mind, just to give you an idea of what it looks like worked up in a double crochet. And I've also teamed that up with the white to break it up a bit, because for me it was just a bit too crazy. Right, so what I'm going to do now is move this out the way and show you how it works up as a single and as a double. Just give me a moment, I'll just make my chain and get on with a bit for you. Okay, so I'm back with you now. I'm just doing a 10 stitch little block of single crochets so you can see how it works up. Now the colours that are bouncing through now, as in the little blocks of, now they don't look too bad, and there's both sides, they don't look too bad, I suppose, but for me it is a little bit too crazy at the moment. So okay, I'll just come to the end of this one and then I will carry on the block in double crochet so you can have a look. Oop. So there you go. Right, so there we go, there's the single crochet section for you. Right, so here we are, little test square for you. At the bottom here we have the single crochets. Next row up we've got a couple of rows of double and then a row of treble, just to give you an idea how it looks worked up. Now the yarn's not too scratchy, it's got a soft oily consistency to it. It slides on your hook and off your hook really lovely. Only a couple of times in my larger project did I snag my hook at all, but to be honest that was probably more to do with the fact I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing rather than the yarn itself. It's really quite nicely spun there, so as you can see it's not overly undoing as I untwist it. Personally I won't be getting it again, just solely because I am not keen on the way it works up. I still can't get over the bits here and bits there. That's just something that's not me. But for any of you guys that love the bits here and the bits there, I would say that the Paintbox by Robin isn't a bad little one to pick up if you can get it. Right, I will see you later. Bye for now. Oh dear. Well, I put that row of surface crochet along in the white so that we could actually distinguish what stitch was which, because to me it was just such a busy yarn that I couldn't make out the difference between the single and the double. Okay, I could make it out between the double and the treble because of course there was gaps, but not the rest of it. So that's why I did that little separation. I won't really be doing that on many of the yarn reviews like that, because most of the time the yarns I get sort of work nicely and then you can see the definition difference. Right, but anyway, let's get back to the video because I'm just chatting. And next one up is Whips and Bits. Whips, Bits and Chat number 7. So I'll see you at the other end. Now it's only going to be a quick one, just solely because it is so hot in this room. There's just no airflow. I can open the window and it's coming in hotter than, the air's coming in hotter out from outside than what it is in here. So hair's wet because I keep sticking my head in the paddling pool we've got in the garden. The dog's not happy, but I am. So right, so let's get on. Right, so as I showed you on my last video, or last but one video, I am using the papaya sundae. okay, in the colourway 03. Now I'm using that to possibly make a shawl or a top. I'm going more towards the size, towards the top, because it is really light and really nice to work with. So I'm hoping that once it's made, it'll be something nice that I can wear in this temperature. Knowing my luck, by the time I finish it, we'll have had our thunderstorms and it'll have dropped back down to 12 degrees. But you never know, I might be lucky. Right, so this is my progress so far. There's a couple of dodgy ends because I needed to do a bit of colour correction on them, on the rows. So there we go. And at the moment, I should have really done this before I come on. The piece of work is now measuring a guesstimate of approximately 19 inches or 49 centimetres. So I've got a bit of a way to go to cover my big butt. And then that's before I decrease. Now I realised on my last video I didn't actually put a link to the pattern that I was using. Now I found it on YouTube, and the creator of the video, I'll pop a link at the top to her video, and on there you'll also find a link to the overall pattern for a top. But so if you fancied doing it, then if you follow along with her, it's quite self-explanatory, and the pattern's written pretty well as well. And then of course, if you don't fancy following along to make a top, but you want to make a shawl or a shawlette, just don't go on to section 2. It's as simple as that. Just keep going till it's the length you want. Right, I'll just sort my side out and I'll be back with you in a second. So I don't think I've done too bad on the amount of work on this one, considering most of yesterday was spent trying to sort out the garden, because the grass has just taken over, so that all got trimmed back. I still haven't tackled the weeds. We've got this patch at the end of the garden, and it's just a couple of cute little weeds that I decided I was going to leave there so that the local wildlife had somewhere to plant their bums, because there isn't much else out in the garden. So we got this squeaky chair. No, so we got this patch at the back, and these weeds, normally you probably pull them out when they get to about that big. These ones are now from the floor to my head. They're easily that tall, and so of course they've got the chunkiest roots on them, so they're going to be an absolute pig to pull up. And what makes it even worse is my garden sits on clay, so we've got like a clay base and a bit of mud, so of course they've dug right down into the clay, and the clay's now dry, so digging that is going to be one heck of a job. I don't want to do it, but I'm the only one that really tackles the garden because I'm the one that's here all the time. So that's a job I'm going to be doing next week, hopefully when the temperature drops down a little bit. So if we do get a thunderstorm or two, I might actually be out there picking and digging whilst the rain's coming down, just to keep me cool, because I'm slightly crazy like that. I love thunderstorms. Yeah, so then while I was doing that, my husband was reinforcing the decking that we've got outside, because last year we put the decking down and decided we were going to put a like one of those inflatable jacuzzis on it. So we got the spot and it's all perfect, and we'd put a couple of extra supports there so that it could accommodate the extra weight of all that water. Well, we thought it would have been perfectly fine until we took the jacuzzi away and then found that a few of the boards were sort of bowing a bit under the weight. So of course he's had to unscrew those and get under and put more struts in, and so he finally got to doing that job yesterday while I was doing the grass and everything. So then we've pulled out the inflatable and checked it all over, and luckily no cats and dogs have decided to put holes in it. So that all got pumped up and we filled it up last night, or yesterday afternoon. So then by last night we've not turned like the heaters on it or anything like that yet, because we were just letting the chemicals settle and work. But of course me and my husband are like, this is too hot. So of course he's decided, that's it. In his pants he goes, jumps in like in the jacuzzi, completely ducks under, so he's pretty happy for the evening. I dip a toe in and turn blue and go, right, that's enough for me. Well, today the temperature has skyrocketed higher than yesterday. I don't actually know what it is. I don't want to look, because I'm thinking we're kicking on 28s to 30s easily now. It's probably more into the 32. But of course it's quite muggy as well where we are, and we've not got a great deal of wind coming round at the moment. If we had a bit of wind, that would help it out a little bit. So it's quite muggy outside. So of course I go out in the garden, check that the decking's okay for the dog to walk over, because he's there standing there at the back door with his legs crossed. Because of course you're not going to I'm not taking him out for a walk in this temperature, because the floor, like the concrete outside, it hurts. It really hurts. Because I will literally, in this weather, I walk around with the dog, and I walk around in bare feet. I get strange looks off of people that don't have dogs, because of course they're like, why the heck are you being so stupid, you're walking around in bare feet? But then for owners of dogs and other animals, they're looking at me going, that's a smart idea. At least then you know, if someone kicks off at you, you can say, well, if it's okay for my feet, it's okay for his. So of course outside at the moment, the concrete outside the front of the house, and especially manhole covers, ow, they hurt. They are really, really hot. So of course he's not going out the front, so he's not going for his walk. We'll probably take him out about 10 o'clock tonight once the temperature drops, and then it'll be a case of walking him over to the nature reserve, so that he can go straight for the water there and just play around in the water until he's ready to come home. So I've opened the door, I've plodded outside and stood on the decking for a bit to check it was alright for him, because of course I'm in my bare feet. Then I've gone over to my grass, again stood there, and he's come out, he's done a lap and gone, no, do you know what, I'm not staying out here and I don't want to pee, I'm going back in. So the door gets opened, he goes back in, and he goes off and chills on his cool pad. And at that I sort of jump into the jacuzzi, sort of, just my legs, just needed to cool them down. The rest of me can cope for now, because like as you can see I've got wet hair. It's like soak it, tie it back, that'll keep me cooler, it'll help keep my temperature down. So that's pretty much been it for today. I've got my daughter coming back from university at the weekend, so I might not have as many videos out as I normally do. You know how I like to try and get at least a couple out a week. Well, I've got her home for a week, and I've got a feeling she's going to try and steal my computer, because it'll be in the room that she's sleeping in, because technically this is her room. Well, no, it's not, it's mine. It's my room. She don't pay rent, she don't live here. It's my room. But she'll say it's hers, because it was before she moved out. But it's my room. Do you hear me, kid? It's mine. So because of that, I'm going to have to try and roll her out of bed in the mornings and get her out of the room while I'm recording and things like that, and then of course the editing as well. And sometimes some of these videos take like a 10-minute video might take me 15 hours, like 5-6 hours to do. It just feels like 15 hours. But hopefully, you never know, she might decide to help, and she might even decide to join in. That wouldn't be a bad one, would it? Right, little tip for you guys: if you're struggling and you really desperately want to crochet, but it's just too hot and your yarn is sticking to your crochet hook, or it's squeaking as it's moving, even though you're washing your hands every 5 seconds and cleaning down at like your hooks and things, if it's squeaking, swap yarns, swap projects. I've had to move off of my DK projects solely because every time I pick it up it just squeaks, and it sounds worse than the unicorn horn if you've ever listened to that video with the mice in. But since I've been working with the cotton, no squeaking, and it's, as I said, as you know, it's working up beautifully, this cotton. Sorry, I'm promoting it a bit again, I didn't mean to. But yeah, cotton doesn't hold the heat as much, so it would benefit you swapping to a cotton if you have any in your secret stash. Oh, that was the 1 week of really nice weather and I complained all the way through it. Oh dear. Right, as far as the top that I was making that I showed you a few moments ago, There is a pattern link for it. I will put it in the description box below. See, I knew there was one there somewhere, I just couldn't remember what video I'd said it on. And I'm also prepping my feet for this year's summer, so that I can take Liam out barefooted again, possibly over to the nature reserve, because hopefully, fingers crossed, by that time all the ground nesting birds will have flown off to new pastures, and our resident otter will have moved on to somewhere for fishing rights and stuff. So fingers crossed he'll be able to be allowed off of the lead at that point, and if he is, I might actually take the video over with me so you can see him being a raving lunatic, because I didn't manage to do that last year for you. And remember guys, when I'm showing you these old videos, I am showing you how my crocheting is progressing and how I'm learning things about new yarns, new hooks, new yarn, and all the other stuff, because of course I am still relatively new to crochet. It's only been what, three and a half years, so I am learning along with you, which is why if you look back at some of the stuff that I brought, it's like, why has she brought so many magazines? Hasn't she already got a massive stash of them? Nope, I hadn't bought magazines until I started the channel. The same with books. I hadn't bought books until I'd started the channel, and I'd only ever really purchased yarn that I needed for each project before I started the channel. Now look at me, you haven't seen the other side, it's stacked. So yeah, everything that I'm purchasing and showing you guys is basically because it's normally the first time I've ever bought it. Right, let's have a look at the next video now. Our next one is, we've got another whips, bits and chat, and it's number 8, so enjoy. Right, so today I am going to be showing you how I'm getting on with the top. Now I've chosen the top to make with the papaya sundae cake, so it looks like a watermelon. It's absolutely brilliant. So I've had a little issue because I've got such a big bum. I've had to order more yarn. Now I received a really cool email this morning, which I'm going to insert here. Right, so at the moment of recording, it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Fingers crossed somebody disturbs my recording by saying it's here, so then I can get on with making the rest of this. Now, so far with the, so far with this pattern, I have managed to do 1 panel. Now, I found increasing, as I went along, the increasing worked out really easy, and it was really simple for me once I got the pattern sort of worked. But decreasing has been an absolute brain mushing moment for me. Now, I followed along with the tutorial and no, it didn't sink in. So I opened up the pattern, the written pattern, and it looked like university standard algebra to me. Now, I loved algebra at school, but this was just like on a whole different level for me for the last couple of days, because of course I've not slept too brilliantly, as I'm having to share the bed with my snoring husband, and normally I'll crash on this one if I'm finding I'm overly tired. So at the moment I am exhausted. I need to sleep, but I also need to crochet. So so of course the pattern itself, I was finding it difficult the last few days, sort of doing the decreasing, but then I finally sussed it with probably 2 to 3 pattern repeats left to go, and then I managed to do those pattern repeats within next to no time. It was just the other 10 that I had issues with. So I've done as much as I can as far as the pattern goes, because of course you get to a certain point and then you're actually going to be joining the 2 pieces together as you're working the shoulder sections. So I can't do any more on this one until that delivery tips up. Come on, hurry up. Right, so here it is, as it is at the moment. I've done, where's the top to the bottom? Right, there we go. So as it calls at the moment, this is the pattern as it is, and the pattern calls for you to work up the side of your work once you've finished the rows, which is what this green section here is. So then my next section will be joining the two along the top. So it looks like it's going to fit, hopefully. So fingers crossed that yarn will tip, sorry squeaky chair, that yarn will tip up in the next couple of hours, and then I can get to work on this, and we'll hopefully have it done within about 3 or 4 days, I suppose, if I set my mind to it. Yeah, so hope you like. Now I've also been a bit naughty. You're going to have another yarn haul video tip up in the next couple of days, because of course it's pointless ordering yarn online if you're not going to make use of the fact that if you spend over a certain amount you get free postage. Why pay $3.95 for postage when that would mean that you would lose out on a ball of yarn? So yeah, I've ordered more. So hopefully I'll get the package today, and then I'll be able to upload another yarn haul video for you so you can see some more yarns that they do. Okay, if I remember rightly, I have ordered more of the baby cakes because I loved the way that they turned out in that stitch, and so I've ordered a couple of different colours so that I can do some more lacier work and see what comes out of those, really. Right, and for you inquisitive types who are wondering where's all of the pillows and cushion covers and things gone from behind me, I've had to hide them. As some of you know, my daughter has come back from uni. Now she's already tried to steal the watermelon top, and as far as she's concerned, all I needed to do was finish the square and stick some ribbon on to make some lattice work on the back, which does sound quite cute, but as far as she's concerned that can then be hers. She's not been happy with me because I said no, and then I had to come upstairs and hide anything cute, any stuffies, any of the little blankets or the cushions, or actually most of it has been hidden because she's got her stuff hiding on the other side. Well, I've got her stuff hiding on the other side of this room, or at least some of it, and I have a feeling if I'd left it out, some might have accidentally slipped into her bag, and she wouldn't have admitted it until she was in her new place. She's a monkey. But yeah, so that's why there's not a lot out on show at the moment. And also, it appears now that the weather's back to normal. Temperatures around here have plummeted by at least 12 degrees, so I'm looking at it being no more than 18 degrees, so hence the scarf. That's on to keep my neck warm, otherwise my sciatica down my left side is going to play up something chronic and I won't be able to hold the yarn because I won't be able to feel it. So hence the scarf, just trying to keep the neck warm and not the rest of me. It's nice to see the progression of the top, isn't it? And that yarn, I believe, did turn up pretty quickly. If I remember rightly, I had just finished videoing and editing, and as the video was uploading, the package arrived. So I was like, oh blimey, because what I was really hoping for was that it would turn up and I could just run up the stairs go, look, it's arrived. But it didn't happen for that video, so it just happened on the next one, didn't it? Right, I hope you enjoyed today's a little throwback into the history of the channel, and I'm gonna head off now. I will see you all really soon, so if you can please stay in and definitely stay safe. I will see you all soon. Ta-ra for now.